Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bud in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And Pete.
Cześć.
And Polish Pete.
I was going a different language today.
Polish Pete. Put down your vodka.
That was just hello, basically, in Polish for all those who are culturally
I think they figured out when I called you Polish Pete. Today we're going to talk about shadow people and the Hat Man.
The Hat Man.
I was waiting for it.
I
was waiting for that. I thought someone's bound to fucking do it.
And it was me.
The most obvious joke there could have been, and I knew someone was going to do it.
You're just jealous because I got there before you.
I pick my moments, sir. I have a moment lined up.
Oh,
no, not really. Choose my moments and throw them out because I have to.
He sits there and rehearses them in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like at home, but like, right, half an hour before I go to the pod, do my rehearsals.
He's got three blow-up dolls. He sits in the same spots he talks to. Anyway, let's thank some of the returning listeners. Claire's just doing her best blow-up doll face at me.
Very lifelike.
Very.
You leave the members of the Shadow Pod alone.
The Shadow Pod. Yeah, I was asking how were rehearsals, Mike. He goes, well, I was great, but you lot were shit. Let's thank some new returning listeners, and just a reminder that you can follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bud in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube is Apocalypse Bud, and SoundCloud and most other podcasting platforms at Cutting to the Bud in the PTA. Right, let's start with Sun City in Arizona.
That sounds like a nice place.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds like a fucking barren desert. It's in Arizona.
Sun City sounds like a nice place.
No, Sun City sounds like a fucking swimming pool and funfair combination you get at Rill.
That's why I think it sounds like a nice place.
Arizona is an arid desert with stuff built in it.
You can never compare Rill with the sun, I'm sorry, they just don't go together.
No.
Yeah, I know, but that's the sort of thing they call it.
Yeah.
Only see 17 days of sunlight all year. Geldrop in the Netherlands.
That sounds like a nice place.
Hayes in the UK. San Jose, California. Feltham in the UK. Fort Campbell North, Kentucky. Luxembourg. Flushing in New York. Bengaluru in India. Essen, Germany. Spring Valley, New York. Frankfurt am Main in Germany. Kennett, Missouri. Guadalajara, Spain. Birmingham in the UK. Ashburn, Virginia, and Spring, Texas.
Well,
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you anyway. Reach out and touch us if you want. If there's an episode you think we should have a tackle at, I'm always willing to take suggestions.
what, you want them to touch your tackle?
Yeah, whatever's good.
When he says reach out and touch us,
Reach out and touch us.
he means it literally.
Yeah. So, has anyone heard the Shadow People?
I read a bit of this.
I've heard of the crab people.
Yeah, they're got nasty too.
It's obviously shadow people. As you all know, I'm well into paranormal and things like that anyway, so obviously I've come across them many occasions.
Have you fought them?
I have, yes.
Aren't they on
And I've won every time.
Aren't they on that film Ghost with Patrick Swayze in?
Wow!
Aren't they?
The little demons
Well.
that pull them down to hell.
Yeah.
I freaked me out as a kid, that did.
That do freak me out as well.
How scary was that?
I know. Your mum's like, oh, this is a good family film.
Demi Moore with short hair, what freaked me out, to be
no,
fair.
she looked fine in that film.
She does look nice with long hair, though.
I like Debbie Moore.
Right, come on, stop salivating. Are they these the shadow people we're talking about?
Sort of encountered shadow people, haven't we, in our youth?
You know, someone told us they saw one
I reckon they saw a black shadow with a machine gun
hiding up the mount. Yeah, but he was full of
stalking
shit.
us. Well, he might have been telling the truth. We just dismissed it, called him an idiot.
Well, he was full of shit though. He had a proven track record of being full of shit.
Well, he may have been telling the truth this time, you know.
Well, cried wolf too many times for me. Shadow people have been scaring people for thousands of years. But what are they? Some people believe these humanoid figures are a supernatural spirit or entity that manifests as a dark shadow. Yeah, these things go back a long way.
I think it's, people have had a little bit too much mead,
Yeah.
And then they're walking home, you know, the trees like creating shadows.
See, I've seen them myself many a times. We've probably all seen them.
Many a time.
No, because there's so many times you'll see like a black blur out the corner of your eye. This is one of the things that counts for shadow people, yeah? So when people say, oh, I see that, that's what, oh, shadow people. So I'm sure I saw a little black, just in the corner of my eye, but when you turn, there's nothing there. Everyone sees that, and that will account for millions and millions of sightings of shadow people. That's my point.
Well, we'll get into that later, shall we?
Oh, right, but...
yeah, I see your point.
yeah.
Well, his trousers falling down. The history of shadow people dates back as early as the 600s. CE. What's that? CE Common Era. Is that AD?
It's sort of different, isn't it? It's AD and BC, and then CE and...
I don't know. I know.
there's another one.
I know AC/DC.
Creepy shadow people stories come from all parts of the world and are eerily similar. The Quran makes mention of pitch black sapient beings created from fire that were not purely spiritual or physical in nature. Heidi Hollis, the author who describes shadow people in her book The Secret War, sounds interesting, as dark silhouettes with human shapes and profiles that flicker in and out of peripheral vision.
Oh, there you go. That's kind of that's what I was
That's what you're
talking
getting
about.
at, wasn't it? Yeah.
But I think that's why it's been encountered for so many thousands of years, because everyone fucking sees them and they get put down as shadow people.
I can't say I've ever seen anything that I remember.
No, me, but I'm a spiritual void.
I can see the inside of my eyelid if I look really, like, you know, to the right or...
I'll just be sat at home. I'll be sat at home watching telly, and I'll just see like what I think like a little black blur.
You look alright not doing that.
Just checking out, just making sure the shadow people in there.
Why do you have an extra set of eyes grafted on the side of your head?
Because then I'll have to look in the corners of those eyes as
Oh
well.
shit, yeah. And eyes all the way round your head.
But I think I'd just be sat at home and I see. Cause I always think like, oh, what's moved in my house? Like, you think something's moved. Can you see like a little black movement or something? But it's just your eyes, I believe, and.
Well, I wish no beers.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. I think 99 times out of 100, they're just your eyes and your mind playing tricks on you.
There's a lot of stuff goes on between your eyes and your brain.
A lot of it's being filled in, isn't it?
You know,
When you're actually seeing something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the percentage of it. It's higher than 50, but and then your brain sort of filling in the gaps, isn't it?
That's right.
That's why you could read words.
Or you just
that
don't
aren't
notice
spelt.
it.
Yeah.
That's why
Because your brain can only take in so much information at one time. Sorry, Pete.
I was saying that's why you can read words that they're spelt completely wrong, but as long as you've got the right letters within them, and the
That's
first
mad,
and
that,
the
isn't
last word, first and the last letter have to be the
yeah.
normal order, but you put the rest of them in the middle, pretty much any order. A lot of people can just read. It's mad.
You can, yeah, it's mad.
And pareidolia. You know, the brain's trying to pick out shapes and patterns, faces. So, you know, if you stare long enough at a wall, chances are you'll start to see a face in it eventually. Your brain's going
like
on.
Ghost shows in it where they sit in the dark and they're like, oh, you know, I could see something, but you stare at it for hours. It's like, you know, your brain's just perhaps.
Take a pill and it takes about 3 minutes. Not hours.
You'll be seeing ghosts in 3 minutes for this.
What's the wall doing? It's going to eat me.
So, usually they look like huge, ominous black shadows in the shape of a human. The most common form a shadow person presents himself is the classic shadow being, which is described as dark, inorganic, phantom-like bipedal figures that look just like a dark black shadow of a figure, but don't seem to quite have full human form or facial or body delineation. They feel very masculine and oppressive, and like something that is beyond human and out of our scope of understanding.
Have you looked for any video clips of shadow people?
You never... Pete, I've lost a lot of faith in video clips because of this AI thing that's come out now.
No, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, that's recent, isn't
But
it?
I've seen the stuff where there's like they turn the light off and there's a shadow in the hallway. They turn it back on again and there's nothing there, but it was clearly the shape of a dude. And there's nothing there that could be... making that shadow.
I've seen a couple like that. Yeah.
I've seen lots of different little shadow people clips when a lot of the time you'll see it like there'll be like a corridor, for instance, and there'll be like a couple of doorways, and you'll see a black figure like peek out one of the doorways.
Yeah, I've seen, I think I might have seen that
and
one.
then you'll see like other people go there and like look, and you can see their colours and features. Unless it is just all pranks and they're all people just dressed in like a fucking black full suit, ninja suit kind of thing, face and everything, then it does make you wonder, because these completely black figures, I've seen many videos, and you do see them and you think, well,
What
if it's not a prank, what is it?
What if they are ninjas?
It's the footman.
Yeah.
It's the footman
What
from
if,
the Turtles.
what if they are ninjas? What if there's a hidden secret society of ninjas who are responsible for all the paranormal experiences in the world?
The Secret Society of Assassins.
No, they used like they call them the ghosts.
I tend
The
to
shadow.
They're led by Ra's al Ghul.
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's in for it. We can ask him.
I tend not to get too engrossed in their videos these days, because they usually put that screaming woman on it and makes you jump out your skin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or a spider jumps out at the screen or something lame.
Yeah.
But no, that's my only thought on that, is the fact that there are a lot of clips out there, and when you do see these shadow people, it's like, why don't you see any colour? It's either a prank or they're genuine. It's hard.
Or it's
never
fucking
know,
night.
do you?
And everything's black at
No,
night.
that's what I'm saying. Like there'll be like you then see somebody go and look in that corridor, and you could see them perfectly in the same light. They've not turned the lights on, nothing like that. And you can see like the outline of clothing, the face expression.
Yeah, but they're going to be using IR at that point, aren't they?
No. So you've got like a locked off camera. You've got a locked off camera looking at the hallway. Yeah.
Yeah.
This locked off camera, and somebody said, this is a particular clip I remember seeing. It was like a security cam kind of camera.
Oh, right, okay.
And there was this guy, and there's this black figure came out, and then he went down, because they were doing an investigation, because they had their own cameras as well. And then they went down to investigate, and like I said, nothing had changed. It was
So
the
you
same.
can see them fine.
And you could see that. So you could see them fine, but you could only see the blackness of this figure that was in the same spot. So it's like it's either somebody completely dressed up, or it's a shadow person.
Oh, there's a glitch in the
Matrix.
glitch in the matrix, glitch on the camera itself, corruption of data.
But they're not. But see,
Or the TV.
The
That can have
TV.
you know.
But you know what it's like when you've watched something on YouTube or on Facebook, clips of similar origins come up.
Yeah, they
So I've probably seen so many of these, because you get all these most spooky haunting kind of clips and things like that. So, but the amount of shadow people would probably account for 30-40% of the video clips I've watched, and there's bloody hundreds.
A lot of people see these things. You're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands of sightings easily. They've seen it since 600 CE.
Yeah.
Something's etched itself into our brain at some point. This shape, this particular nightmare figure.
Could be residue left from a deleted program from the machine.
Presuming that we're all in a simulation,
Yeah.
right? Then is that your thing this week? That
It's possible.
it's you know what?
Bank of America thinks it's 50-50, doesn't it?
It's more likely, Mike, than I actually care to admit or willing to admit it is. That says everything. It's like, God damn, it's got to be at it.
What's his name? Elon Musk. He thinks we're in one, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's a dickhead.
Simulation.
Oh yeah.
Surely he'd have the money to find out, wouldn't he?
He's
Would
the
you
one-
find out?
He's the
Would you?
fucker running it.
So if he runs it better than he runs
Soft
Twitter,
disclosure, innit? You know.
wouldn't last
How
long,
would
would
you
it?
know? You wouldn't know you're in a simulation until Morpheus rocks up and drags you out to be kicking and screaming.
With the blue and a red pill.
Yeah. You know, you're not going to know. If Natalie Cooner is a psychic medium, therefore immediately trustworthy and never lied at all, describes the figures as tall, about 7 feet in height, though they can configure and transform into different sizes and shapes. Often their limbs, as in their arms and legs, seem quite long, and very occasionally fingers are seen. Some believe their dark form is used as a camouflage and they can take on a rough humanoid shape to blend in with us. Others report seeing a shadow people with red or green glowing eyes, or even wearing a hat like the famous Hat Man, who often appears in a cape or trench coat and a hat, which can range from a top hat to a fedora or a cowboy hat. And apparently he had red glowing eyes.
Sounds like Mothman.
Shit.
He had the red glowing eyes.
He
didn't
did? Never had a hat though.
No, he had the red glowing eyes. Check out our episode on Mothman.
The hat's an interesting feature actually, if you think about it.
Maybe he was feeling a little jaunty that day.
Well, I think so. He put his fedora on at a jaunty angle and stepped off into someone's nightmares. No, what I'm saying is everyone seems to see this guy, and around the world, they see this guy with a wide-brimmed hat. Now, in the West, I can understand that. It's a bit more cultural for us. But someone in China or the Far East, it's not really cultural, a cowboy hat, is it? A wide-brimmed hat like that.
Well, they'd have a wide-brimmed hat, but it would be like a teepee on their head, wouldn't it?
It's the traditional
China,
sort of...
anyway.
Yeah, but this is a distinct kind of fedora, cowboy hat, top hat in some cases. It's not cultural to them to see that.
Columbo hat, it looks like, sort of like Columbo wears.
Yeah. That's just my little thought on that.
Yeah, we'll go into now already, shall we?
Let's do that.
The ghost of Columbo's been haunting everyone, that's what it is.
Columbo didn't die that long ago.
Yeah, so it's recently he's been walking around with his fedora.
What, since 600... See, is you trying to suggest that Columbo is an immortal demon-like being?
Now he's dead, yep. He can go back to whatever realm he wants to.
Well, he's said to wear a fedora, top hat, a trench coat, and have glowing red eyes.
It fucking really is, isn't it? He's got the trench coat as well.
Yeah, just one more thing.
A top hat in some cases, and a fedora in the others. A long trench coat or a cape.
If they say he's got a squinty eye, then that's it.
Glowing red eyes.
Squinty.
Some reports he carries a gold watch attached by a chain to his belt and will occasionally look at it.
That sounds even more like him.
It's not Columbo! Some people claim the Hat Man has attacked them, although he's usually just content to watch. What he wants to watch you doing on the other hand, I don't know.
What's a dude in a trench coat? That's just a fucking... It's just... When you're seeing that, all you're seeing is the ghost of a bloody...
Peeping
Tom. That's it,
Flasher?
yeah. Yeah,
Flasher.
Peeping Tom stroke flasher. So he likes to sit watching. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't he?
I like to direct the action.
You never see his hands, do you? They're underneath the trench coat.
So he's going to yank it.
Basically, yeah, he's perfect.
What are your hands
for it.
doing in there? You'll
just-
never know.
He can hide perfectly in the shadows and just pull his sausage until his heart's content.
Until he leaves an interdimensional jizz puddle in your corner.
Yeah.
Well, people do claim he's attacked them, and tell stories about being jumped on or choked, and have experienced burning in their chest or tingling on their scalps.
Tingling on their scalp.
I've
Is he
heard,
rubbing head and shoulders, is it?
yes! It prevents you from having dandruff. It's a side effect when shadow people. I saw one account where they said this person was standing on their chest. Woke up, couldn't breathe, and look up and the shadow being stood on their chest.
A Cleveland steamer from a shadow man. That's what that is.
Can you explain what a Cleveland steamer is, Mike?
Well, it's when you shit on someone's chest and you rub it up and down.
Lovely.
I've never tried that myself, by the way.
Seems you're very knowledgeable on the subject.
We're just getting an insight into the pornography Mike watches.
I put a bit of chelping myself.
Chelping?
So what's chelping?
That's where you hold your end of your penis together, try and piss as much as you can, and then just let it out in one big sploosh over someone's face.
So you let your foreskin like blow up like
Yeah,
a small water
yeah.
balloon.
What?
And it's like...
Who thinks this shit?
Oh no, yeah. Just go to Urban Dictionary and you'll find out loads of weird shit.
My word.
Right, well. The Hat Man is also happy just watching. He tends to stay longer than most shadow people as well, and has been spotted watching people in the mirror, bending over them while they sleep, or just hanging out in the corner with a creepy smile on his face.
He's wanking.
Presumably, if you can see his face, a lot of cases say you can't see the faces of shadow people. That's why the eyes stand out so much, I guess.
You've got the shadow from the hat as well, almost concealing the face. A bit more.
Perhaps not attacking a person and simply observing from afar is much more terrifying, especially since many people insist Hatman has a solid form, unlike other shadow people. And while shadow people tend to just disappear when it's time for them to leave, Hatman has been seen floating above the ground or walking away.
I've never seen one.
No.
I've never seen a Hatman.
Or a shadow person.
It could be just chucking loads of them in my room, because if I wake up in the night, it's not like I lie there with my eyes open. I just roll over and keep my eyes closed and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Is that because you're too afraid to open your eyes?
Yeah, because they're shadow people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know if there was. It could have been 50 of them stood there for all I know. In many cases, the Hatman seems to be hanging around areas where there are negative emotions taking place, such as households that have experienced domestic abuse, fighting, or depressed family members. Some people think the Hatman is a demon sent to bring those who are about to die to hell, while others seem to think that he's just demonic.
That's what you said, Claire, wasn't it? Fucking ghost.
Well, that is kind of like a connection to that, definitely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why that connection's been made, because of the film Ghost.
Do you think Ghost is just trying to warn us?
I think Ghost ripped this off, these have been...
No, I think they ripped off Ghost, potentially.
It's been around since CE or whatever it is.
This article...
Ghost hasn't.
This article has been around
No.
since CE.
No,
this article's been around for probably a couple of years at the most, so there's a good chance they've taken that, whoever wrote this article, straight from the film Ghost.
Well, I think they're taking it from people who've written books on it, like this Heidi Hollis, who I have listened to on a podcast. She loves talking about shadow people.
So is she fairly recent?
I listened to her most recent one, which is really 6 months old or so.
So she could have ripped it from the film Ghost.
She could have ripped it off the film Ghost, in all fairness, but I'm just saying that, these are so-called researchers into this, and this is what they're coming back with in an attempt to flog books. Because let's face it, it's a living.
Yeah.
She maybe had to back that up anyway. The story a German soldier told her about witnessing Hatman asking who he was and being told Scratch, an old nickname for the devil. So this German soldier's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Scratch. Old Scratch.
I never knew that was a nickname for the devil. Did you?
No.
Here's a nickname for the devil. One of his many names.
It's like fucking Gandalf, isn't he?
But he sort of clicked his fingers and went, I'm Scratch. Hollis also recounted the story of a suicidal man who woke up to find himself in the hospital and the Hatman close by. According to the story, the Hatman quickly disappeared after the man woke up, but not before saying, I almost had you.
That's creepy.
That is kind of creepy, actually. If you come to in the hospital suddenly and there's this fucking dark, fucking hatted figure standing there with glowing red eyes, he sort of leans down, presumably smoking a cigarette.
Maybe he's a Grim Reaper type,
I was going to say, is it just the Grim Reaper and is he just modernised a bit?
Yeah, he's ditched the scythe.
He's ditched the scythe
Gone for a hat.
and the hood. Yeah, that's it. He goes for the hat now.
Do you think he's copying the Undertaker's style?
Mate, yes. He watched a bit of WWF and thought, I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah. That's a good look.
This scythe is so last century.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I can just use my fingertips. So yeah, why not?
See, some people believe that he emits very powerful negative energy and feeds off the fear he causes.
So don't be scared of him then. Do a happy song and dance if you see him.
Freddy Krueger, isn't it? Turn your back on him. I don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Doesn't that usually involve you getting impaled to the chest?
No, it kills him, doesn't it? Removes him of all his power, if I remember from the first one.
Never watched them.
Haven't you?
Never watched the Freddy Krueger film.
I watched the first 3 and then after the third one I was like, oh god, this is terrible.
I started to watch
The sequel's a bit dodgy.
I started to watch the first one when I was a kid, and I turned it off because the first scene where he gets that woman in the bath
Yeah.
was enough to just make me go, oh no, I don't like this.
That's the best part of the film, the deaths.
Yeah, but I was probably only about 8.
Yeah, so was I.
So, but then I liked things like The Exorcist at that age, and Candyman and things like that. But
Candyman, yeah.
it was just something about Freddy Krueger. I just, wasn't a fan. I mean, I don't think it's because I was scared. I was just like, no, not for me. Never watched it since.
Well,
well, maybe you should revisit them then.
Yeah, maybe I will for like the cult kind of
Yeah, I mean, they're a bit
aspect of it.
They're a bit tacky, some of them, but I think the first one's pretty decent.
the first one was decent, the rest of them are a bit crap.
They got their moments.
Well, back to the Hat Man, who may or may not be deaf. People can usually feel when they're being watched, and the gaze from the Hat Man is no exception. Many have also noted a very dark energy emitted from him, and said they immediately knew he was extremely evil and very likely wanted to kill them.
Maybe he is the devil.
Some get the feeling the Hat Man is enjoying their fear and actually feeding off it. It's possible, however, that since people who witness Hat Man are already in a fearful, angry or other emotionally charged state, thanks to what other negative thing is going on in their life, they associate Hat Man with their negative feelings. And I suppose because he appears in so many different situations and occasionally to several people in the same family, there isn't really a clear explanation if he's truly evil and why he appears to so many people.
What is truly evil?
Ben's ass.
Oh, yeah. That does admit true evil.
It's like a Pandora's box in many ways.
I've been in gas chambers with CS pellets and they had nothing on it. So, yeah.
So, yeah, what is true evil?
Well, that's an interesting philosophical debate. I don't know. I suppose it all depends on what the spirit of the time is, the zeitgeist of the time.
It's the perception of the beholder as well, isn't it, to what evil is.
You know, it depends on the changing moral standards within society.
I mean, if he's just doing his job, like the Grim Reaper...
Is he evil?
Is he evil? I mean, he's just...
That would suggest that he's like...
job, isn't he?
Everybody's going to die, haven't they? He's just doing his job, like you say.
That would suggest that he's some kind of then cosmic entity created for such a role.
Yeah, obviously I don't believe in the Grim Reaper, but I'm just saying, you know, is the Grim Reaper, if he was real, would he be evil? I suppose it depends on how you look at it.
Well, he's the personification of death. If there's no death, we all live forever.
How many problems would that cause?
Exactly. Coming soon, Immortality.
Yeah, 8 years apparently.
8 years. Should be interesting. When we'll realise they're sick of the sight of one another after 100 years.
We're on episode what?
I'd say murder would definitely increase, wouldn't it? If immortality was a thing, murder would increase.
Would it?
Well, yeah, people, because you could still die.
I think suicide would.
But then if you're in life imprisonment, you've literally got to be like eternity in prison.
Nah, because they'd have to like define how long life is, wouldn't they? So you go, alright, well, average life expectancy if you're not immortal. Well, you just wouldn't give the immortality. You wouldn't give them the immortality drug, would you?
No, you wouldn't keep on,
Keep
curing
them alive.
their ailments, would you?
I would just say it was one pill that just made you immortal.
Oh.
One magic pill.
The immortal pill.
I think you're taking
It's to that
science a little bit.
Yeah. So everybody else is immortal apart from criminals, is that what you're saying?
You lose your immortality rights if you do something nasty, yeah.
You lose your NHS basically.
Yeah,
Interesting. No
Well,
one
you can
commit
still be
crimes
treated
then.
for things, but I mean, you can't those. You
wouldn't risk it. If you wanted to live forever, you wouldn't risk it, would you? Doing any crime, because if you got sent down and they take the immortality off you, you're going to die.
Yeah. I think suicides would go up. People would get fed up with it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because I suppose there'd come a point you'd be like, right, I'm not going to take the immortality treatment anymore.
Yeah, and then
That's it, I've had my life, I'm done.
done, yeah.
Yeah, but then you'd sort of get to about 78 and think, oh, actually, I wouldn't mind doing this or that and pop a few more pills and...
It depends what the
Rejuvenate.
Yeah,
Well,
how
if
much
you've lived like
rejuvenate.
500 years already and you've been like, yeah, I've had enough now, I just stop taking the...
Yeah, then they invent better than life.
Yeah. As if we're going to last 500 years anyway. I mean, as a species generally, we've got a bunch of immortal people going about. We're all going to be sick of the sight of one another. We'll end up with...
Yeah, it's going to have to
That's to work forever. Think of the fucking logistics of it.
Well, no, you
Have
wouldn't,
like a
because there'd be
different
more,
wife
there'd
every
be more in the
20 years.
workforce. There'd be more in the workforce, wouldn't there? You wouldn't have to work forever. There's loads of people being born and not
No,
dying.
because you can't just have loads of more people and people being born. You got to balance it out. There's no births. You're just all
we would
there. That's
consume the
it.
planet within. Oh, God.
We'll be off on a different planet by then anyway.
Oh, we need to, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
If we kept having births and immortality.
Yeah, because you can't have both. You got one or the other.
Space flight would be okay then, wouldn't it?
Well, it would, yeah. You
On
could
a
just,
ship, or a handful of people on a ship and send them.
as long as they've got enough immortality pills.
Yes, and food and air,
Yeah,
fuel,
yeah.
and anything else they may need. Yeah.
So Hatman, he's been seen all over the world. He's a global phenomenon. Wow,
That was a statement. That was.
it was. First introduced on Coast to Coast FM. You gotta love Coast to Coast AM. Sorry, Coast to Coast AM. Many people sent in drawings of what they'd seen and shared stories of their own experience with shadow people. Author and strange encounter enthusiast Heidi Hollis noted in 2008 there was commonly seen shadow person she named Hatman, and people all over the world claimed to have been visited by him as well. No one expected so many people to have experiences with Hatman or shadow people, but the similarity of people's stories has given the creepy dark man a lot of popularity and more credibility for a lot of people. There you go, you can go and look at it on the internet. There is a website called the Hatman Project, if you want to go and look at some sightings. And some of the comments are a little bit out there for me, where it's all about, I pray in the name of Jesus till he fucks off.
Right.
So you're just confusing two lunacies for me. You're just mingling two lunatic ideas. Now, like shadow people, the Hatman often appears when people are experiencing sleep paralysis. Are you familiar with sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Ever had it?
Yep.
No,
I don't think so. I've been asleep.
It's where you.
Sorry.
Basically, you wake up, but your brain hasn't switched back on yet.
Yeah.
And because when you sleep, you are paralysed to a point so you don't act out what you're doing in your dreams, it doesn't turn it off.
I've had it once and I woke up on the sofa and I couldn't move. I thought I was paralysed.
God damn, I pricked my
I'm
neck!
like, oh my god, you're thinking, oh, when I get off the sofa and get a drink and you're like, I can't move, what the fuck? And it just lasts for a few seconds and then you get your motor functions back.
I'm disabled.
I'm disabled.
Oh no, someone's going to have to wipe my arse and feed me for the rest of my life.
Then your arm goes like this. Ah, it's alright. Go on,
Yeah.
sleep paralysis.
It's a sleep disorder that scientists believe may be caused by a disturbed REM sleep cycle. People who experience this physically it's harmless, but it's psychologically terrifying experience to be fully awake and not move. And you can have hypergogic hallucinations because you're trapped between being asleep and being awake. So you might see things like shadow people or the Hatman.
Yeah.
These hallucinations can obviously be quite scary and even more terrifying when the person experiencing them is unable to move. And scientists have no final explanation for why so many people see the same creepy apparitions.
When you first started the article, I was thinking this is something between that awake and asleep.
Very Freddy Krueger, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit awake and asleep, and an active imagination. You know, that could like shadowy figures. You watch a horror film first, it's just a shadowy figure or a murder mystery or something like that. It's a shadowy figure running through an alleyway, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
to build that tension.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So that's what I was first thinking.
I just want to point out that I really like the Hatman style. The trench coat, the wide brimmed hat, it's a timeless look. And if you are a 6 foot tall shadow person, why the fuck not? Then of course, is there more than one Hatman? We're assuming there's one. Maybe that's a very similar style wherever he's from.
He should be a nemesis for Batman, shouldn't he? I think we've discussed this before.
Well, Hatman?
Yeah.
Probably was a Hatman. There's been loads of shitty Batman
I
villains.
bet there was a Hatman.
I think there
at one
was.
point.
There probably
We
was.
discussed this before, there was a Hatman.
Because
Was he like Oddjob? He throws the hat.
Can't remember.
There's just been there's been a lot of very forgettable comic book villains over the years. Let's say that. So let's move on. So,
What do you think these shadow people are then?
well, some people think they're extraterrestrials.
Could be.
Because we can't go an episode without mentioning aliens.
No.
Soft disclosure, people. Author and self-proclaimed shadow person expert Heidi Hollis, cropped up a lot in this, mentions that shadow people are, quote, alien beings in her book, The Secret War. More specifically, she believes the man in the hat to be an extraterrestrial. Some believe the figure's hat could be a form of disguise to cover up an unusually shaped head that could be alien in appearance. Or is it some kind of otherworldly technology or even protection device? Theorists believe the man in the hat may belong to an alien species known as the Greys.
They're not 7 feet tall, are they?
You do get tall Greys.
Oh, okay.
And you get the short greys.
You get the short Greys.
Oh, yeah.
Pygmy greys.
The tall Greys tend to act as levers. The short Greys run around doing their bidding.
Sucking cock.
Their cocks
In
up
my
your hood.
paradise, they would.
Your power.
Your paradise.
Is getting sucked off by pygmy greys. Okay, Mike? We learn so much on a weekly basis about Michael. I dread to think what all of our regular listeners...
What he does all week.
What our regular listeners must have in their heads. Like, their image of Mike. My God, it must be disturbing. Because we all know Mike, so we know what we're getting with him. But
I don't know, to be fair, he's called me out a few times recently. There's some of the revelations, and I've known him since I was 8 years old.
Yep. Well.
But these little snippets...
I'm an enigma, what can I say?
So are they wearing wigs? Have you got them dressed up, or are they just all nude and bald?
No, they are just greys.
Greys.
They're just as they are.
I'd at least like put wigs on them.
As Alan
You can't put
Megan.
lipstick on a pig. Still a pig.
It's like polishing a turd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't polish a turd, but you can put glitter on it. At least try and
But it's still
do
a turd.
something about the big board. Or is the big board dome what really
Well,
does
there we
it?
go. You know, I've got a thing for Rob Sure. It's in company.
They're alien, they're hybrids though. Oh well. So aliens maybe?
Not for me.
As likely as anything else.
They do have a habit of turning up in the middle of the night in your bedroom, aliens, don't they? Or maybe in Mike's. With the classic grey encounter is in your bedroom, you can't move.
Yeah, but that again suggests sleep paralysis and that place between dreaming and not dreaming, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what I think it is, personally.
It looks like your mind wakes up but your body doesn't, or your eyes wake up and the rest of your body and your mind don't, but your eyes have kind of woken up, so it's a strange... It's a weird one, isn't it?
Bit of an hallucination, I think. Or your brain just filling in
Well,
gaps.
it's still in dream mode, maybe.
Yeah.
Your brain's still in dream mode, but you're awake in a weird way.
Yeah, you're half asleep, half awake, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're still seeing your dream, but your eyes are open. You're aware of your surroundings.
I punched somebody that wasn't there many, many years ago. There was a futon sat behind my bed. You know, like the old metal fold-up futons you'd get?
Yeah.
And it was like folded up behind my headrest in my bed. And about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and somebody was stood next to me in bed and I punched them. But I didn't punch them, obviously. I ended up punching this fucking big metal futon, twatting me knuckles. Not really thinking too much more of it, turned over, went back to sleep, and it was only when my mum said to me, "What was that almighty bang?" And I was like, "Oh, I punched someone." I was like, "Huh?" And then I thought about it, I thought, "Oh, that was weird."
Who you punched the hat man?
But is it that kind of, that dream state? Maybe that was what it was. Or it was the hat man, and I scared the shit out of him by...
He wasn't paralysed, he was only faking it.
Yeah, I just went full on fucking Hadouken! And like, scared the shit out of him.
I had a reoccurring dream as a kid about a shadowy person trying to get me.
Oh, it's the
But it
shadow
was sort of
man.
mixed with I was running after a train and I jump on the back of the train in the end. So it's a bit sort of like a bit of a western mixed with a bit scary.
Well, that sounds like the hat man with the cowboy hat.
Cowboy
then.
hat, yeah.
Cowboy hat man.
Oh.
But I get on the train and get away from him, or I wake up and I don't know if he's quite got me.
See, and each time he would have said to you, "I nearly had you."
Yeah, that was just a dream, and I haven't dreamt it since I was a kid.
Maybe it wasn't a dream.
Well, maybe it was like, you know...
Yeah, maybe you convinced it yourself it was a dream, but it was...
And maybe you convinced him that you were worth living.
Maybe your parents took you to a, you know...
Crazy cult when you were a kid.
Well, maybe I was a kid that just like didn't want to get lost away from my family or kidnapped and had sort of dreams of, you know... Of, like, because your mum tells you don't take sweets off strangers, you know.
Those things used for strange men in hats.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, and it
Especially if you can't see the face.
can magnify in your head, and because you don't know what a kidnapper looks like, your brain's going to fill it in with a shadowy figure.
Yeah.
Or at mine and Mike's version. I think that sounds more fun.
Well, you were in a crazy cult as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, mythology of shadow people goes back to early 600 BCE. So ancient Egyptians believed in shadow people and called them the Calibut. Romans believed these people came from the underworld. The Greeks thought shadow people were literal shadows of themselves, which they often gave up to Zeus as a gift, presumably to have sex with.
What? Why?
Hey? They give up the shadows to the...
They give up the shadows to Zeus.
How do they do that? They gotta
No
catch it
idea.
first, haven't they?
Well, they do what Peter Pan did. just leave it behind.
He sewed it on, didn't he?
In the end,
Yeah.
because he was sick of it running off having its own fucking life. Cheeky little bugger.
It's been fucking years since I watched Peter Pan.
See, that was a hat shadow man,
Yep,
boy.
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
Yeah? All of the cultures, however, had a common belief that these shadow people were both part of the real world and the metaphysical one. In ancient Egypt, in particular, shadow people often went off and did the bidding in the spirit world for humans who couldn't reach it. Sometimes for good, sometimes for evil.
Dum dum dum. I felt it needed one of those.
So, attacks. 2003, radio DJ and shadow person expert George Norrie invited Heidi Hollis and Matt Moneymaker, a noted Bigfoot hunter.
Matt Moneymaker.
He's from finding Bigfoot.
Sounds trustworthy.
Oh my god.
No, he's his genuine. I looked him up. That was
Yeah.
his actual name. That was his dad's name, like Moneymaker.
I used to know a Makepeace.
Make peace.
Yeah.
I knew a good head.
It'd be funny if his name was Richard.
Who's a she?
Richina. Dick Goodhead.
You think he couldn't always have to stifle a smile. So they went on coast to coast to discuss shadow people and the Hat Man. And Norrie told Hollis and Moneymaker he heard reports of shadow people attempting to jump on the chest and choke people. This would suggest shadow people actually have the ability to make contact with the physical realm. Lena Townsend, a registered metaphysical practitioner, I don't know how you get to be registered as one of those, but someone must dish out that Google certificate to you, said while she's no expert with shadow people, she studied instances where people said they felt antagonised by suspected shadow people. In such cases, she believes that the shadow people are more than just your average spirit. They could possibly have demons attached to them. Well, that makes perfect. That's clearly the most logical explanation for it all. Is that they're just your average spirit, and they might have demons attached to them. She's a metaphysical practitioner.
We've got to set up some sort of... I've got a business idea now. Just, we've got to set up some sort of...
Paranormal investigation squad.
Association or something like that, and then,
Get
dish
people
out
to
certificates. Next thing.
Yeah?
for people to pay for it.
Yeah.
£50 a pop.
Do you get to go around in a van solving mysteries?
I think we should.
Just label people expert Bigfoot hunters or,
Yeah, but you can't be an expert Bigfoot hunter until you actually catch one.
We're just labelling them that for the price of $50.
Isn't that fraud?
Not if we sell them for entertainment purposes only.
No, we'll have a questionnaire. Like for each
Team that they're an
each
expert or
section,
not.
yeah. And if they pass the questionnaire.
Oh, so we'll set up a little exam to say someone wants to be an exorcist.
Yeah.
Like, which of these prayers should you use to rid a demon of the body? The Lord's Prayer, the Barney the Dinosaur song, AC/DC's seminal classic Hell's Bells. Multiple choice, like.
Oh.
I think it's definitely C. played in
Yeah, and
reverse.
then we send them a certificate.
Well done. The UK Metaphysical Society recognises you as a fully trained exorcist. If you want to buy an exorcist kit off us,
Yes.
with a cross, some holy water,
That's $200.
that's $200. Or even for an extra $250, you get a silver stake in case it's a demon werewolf,
Yeah.
vampire werewolf.
Only plated silver.
Yeah, may or not contain silver.
May or may not be just wrapped in tin foil.
So you can see what Alex Jones is selling, all them pills and water filtration systems, you know.
I have seen a Vampire Hunter's kit on sale.
Have you?
Yeah.
How much was it?
Couple of garlics and a fucking...
I had like stakes and a mallet and cross, and
Did it come in an ornate box with velvet lined?
it came in like a leather case. It was actually quite nice.
Nice.
They
Did
had
you
a
still buy
werewolf
that
one
one?
as well and stuff like that. Just all gimmicks.
So alright, so we do all that sort of shit.
Just get an iron bar. That's all you need.
That's the zombie killing kit.
No,
Yeah.
6-inch iron bar.
There's a zombie one
Anything
as
tries
well.
to eat you, you put the iron bar in their mouth. They can't bite. Simples. We've discussed this.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Check out our business. We'll
Only
advertise it, won't we?
$50 per iron bar.
You used to think the zombie killing kit is just a crowbar.
I'm sure we could chuck a few more things in.
I'd go with samurai sword, a katana.
Oh, God, you and your fucking... But the edge wouldn't last.
I'd have like a double-ended sort of like
The steel's not good enough.
2.5
the elegance
inch
of it.
spike in the zombie one. So then, if they were coming to bite you, could just put it in their mouth and then you can't bite down. Then can they?
Alright,
Yeah.
a morning star.
I have a katana, but you just got to sharpen it every now and again. Simple.
Just have a few katanas.
Yeah.
Just have like 10 of them and it'll last you a couple of years. They get a bit soft as well, so...
You want a broadsword
Too
because
heavy.
it's heavy enough to bludgeon their skull in. Your precious little katana won't do that if it loses its edge.
Make sure it doesn't lose its edge, that's what I'm saying. Keep it sharp.
Keep it sharp.
Now, do you know how to sharpen a katana?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's against a grindstone, isn't it, surely?
I actually...
We can iron out
sharp
these
them.
details in the future, okay?
Broadsword's too heavy.
Yeah.
You're clumsy with it, and
Yeah.
you might trip over, and it might
Yeah.
get...
You can do the same with a
It might
katana.
get lodged in the spine or
No.
something, you can't get it out.
You've never used a katana in your life, you don't cut your leg
Well,
off.
of course I would.
See, I actually trained with a katana. I did a martial arts called Aido. So, katana would be my weapon of choice. No two ways about it.
Why don't you just put a fedora on and start calling everyone milady while you're at it?
Well,
Weeb.
I might. In fact, I will.
Won't even go through fucking chainmail, that's how good that sword is. Right. Some people believe shadow people are pure evil and others believe they are neutral guardians. Neutral guardians sound fucking boring to me. Give me one way or the other.
People keeping an eye on you, basically. Is that what it means? Like, your guardian angels and such, is that what they're
Creepy stalkers.
being putting down to?
Well, that medium from earlier, Kuna, claims that most shadow figures are parasitic, malevolent or evil. Although on rare occasions people claim to have encountered shadow people with neutral auras. Some describe shadow people as benevolent and guardian-like. Shadow people with red or green glowing eyes are believed to be extremely evil humans who have passed and transformed into this dark, ominous form in order to continue their evil, malevolent ways.
Well, evil, malevolent ways, scaring people.
They are
It's not that evil and malevolent, is it?
Oh no, unless shadow people are killing a lot of people we don't know about.
That's true, the dead can't talk, can they?
That's it.
Mysterious murders. Shadow people.
Random heart attacks.
Shadow people.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
They do reckon that some of them are better. They're alright. Alright, they are. Not enough of them that stop the murderous ones, clearly.
He's a good egg, this one.
Where's the shadow person police?
Maybe that's what we should form. The Society for Shadow People Police.
I don't know.
Come to us to report your seeing of a shadow
Yeah.
person.
We'll be the official shadow people reporting place.
Must we?
Yeah, we should do.
Or all them psychopaths, the lunatics writing in about
How they prayed to the Archangel Michael and used the name of Jesus to get rid of their shadow person.
Well, you've just lost another half of our listeners.
I'm just saying that, you know.
Just saying.
Where are we then? While I think it's weird that so many people see this guy in the hat worldwide, I find that strange. How is that etched into our subconscious over the years? Because it must be something subconscious.
It's that John Wayne film where you just see the shadow in the hat.
Maybe John Wayne is the hat man.
Yeah, but our
Is that
physiology,
you, John Wayne? Is this me?
our physiology hasn't changed in that time.
No.
So it's just, I think it's just a brain filling in blanks. You know, it's a shape. You see a shape, your brain makes it out to be like a human shape.
And then somebody suggests, "Oh, was he wearing a hat?" And you're like, "Oh, maybe what? You know, oh, he might have been. I couldn't really make it out. He was like so blurry and."
Yeah, I know what you're
Could have
saying.
been wearing a hat.
Maybe it's not a hat he's wearing. Maybe it's the shape of its alien head.
Maybe.
Oh, like a hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
Well, these
Why
are
not?
its ears.
Yeah, maybe.
Why not? Or it could be like a halo, or something equivalent, but demon.
Dark halo.
Yeah, could be, couldn't it? Might not be a hat at all.
I think it's more to do with sleep paralysis, though. Although I do find it strange that everyone sees this dude with a hat.
They're not always seeing it in their own room though. They're
It's
seeing
not
them
always
out
like
and
that.
about as well, aren't they? They're seeing it, you know, them during the day as well.
Yeah, true. And the sleep ones, you can probably chalk up to sleep paralysis, can't you?
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, you're still half asleep, you're still half awake,
Bit dreamy.
bit dreamy.
Yeah.
Chalk that one up to that. I mean, the ones where you see them in daylight, they're obviously yours. Following you. I've been following her with this shadow person all day.
Goes away though when the sun goes in.
Yeah, he does. It's weird. But no, it's just this form etched into our sort of lizard brain, isn't it, that we should be scared of, the shadowy figure. Shadowy figures represent uncertainty and potential death.
Did he say formed into our lizard brain?
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
No, you got a lizard brain,
part
so
of
it's
the
the most ancient, most primeval part of your brain. It's the fight or flight, the fears, that sort of that thing.
Yeah, it's the ones that bypass our thinking. You know, so if you see like a saber-toothed tiger in the past, you know,
You won't go, oh, look at the cute kitty, oh, come here,
Wait.
puss.
you just sort of see the outline of it.
You
You
run.
don't stand and try and analyse it. You know, your instinct is to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose, you know, you see a shadowy figure in
The
front of
people
you.
that did stop and analyse it, they're the ones that got eaten and didn't pass on their
We've
seed.
got a nice new saber-tooth coat. Oosh.
Yeah, they're the fighters. Yeah.
The fighters.
And a nice new necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one guy who turned around, put his spear on his shoulder, smoothed his hair, and the tiger unwillingly impaled itself on his spear. He then went on to teach a load of cool tiger seminar hunting classes. Like, here's a tiger coolly. And obviously the people never survived long enough to demand their money back. Became the first millionaire. Just a thought. So yeah, everyone else happy? Everyone else got anything to say?
No.
No, not really, other than, I think a lot of the shadow people sites, like I said, it's that, there's a little bit extra moisture in your eye or something like that, and you just see like a little black shadow in the corner of your eye, and it's something to do with like eye gloop or who knows what
Eye
it is.
bogey.
Well, maybe not so much an eye bogey, but it's
Floater.
just it could be your eyelashes slightly stuck together for a split second that just creates a bit extra shadow, and I think that gets put down to it a lot of the time when people say, "Oh, I saw this out of the corner of my eye. I looked and it was gone." It's like, yeah, that's we all see that. Well, I do anyway. Or that is actual shadow people, and I'm seeing shadow people all the time. Who fucking knows?
Maybe. I mean, the
They've never hurt
visual
me.
spectrum of the human is only so much, isn't it? We can't see an infrared or the opposite end of the
Can you?
Well, apparently there's people that can see and people
the
that
predator.
can't. So
That'd be cool.
yeah, it's
Still a
strange
game.
one. It's a strange one either way.
It is.
And that's why we covered it.
Yeah. I'm probably leaning more towards a sleep paralysis thing.
You mean you're off the fence?
An active imagination during the day and stuff.
99% I think it's that, yeah. But I mean, it could be people transporting you to the next world when you die, and who knows?
It could be a multi-dimensional crossover.
Or it could be the residue of the deleted programs.
It could be.
Could be.
I mean, just some of these shadow people know you're there. I mean, they could just be passing through.
Passing through our reality.
Yeah.
Could be.
Just like a multi-dimensional bleed over. Not enough to get fully formed figures, just enough to get these outlines of them tipping about on their way wherever they're going.
It could even be that stone tape theory again, with the recordings from the natural world, like taking almost photographs, like natural photographs, like video recordings.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Memories, like from
Yeah, I know what you're about.
Stone tape theory.
Usually that's something that's particularly traumatic, isn't it?
Depends, there's all sorts of reasons for it. It could just be the age of the location of it's seen a lot, and there is some form of life within most natural forms from within the earth, so who knows?
Well,
so many different fucking theories.
That's very true.
So yeah, I don't think I believe particularly any theory as such. I'll take snippets from anything that sounds believable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You some Bigfoot hunters, we know. Right then. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid, and don't join a cult.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire. Keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
And I've been Pete. Hope you all had a lovely Easter and got fat on chocolate.
Oh, of course we did record this Easter Sunday, when we give thanks to the guy that died for our sins, rose again, and thank you, Optimus Prime.
What, the Easter Bunny did that? I just like the chocolate.